Hi everybody, welcome to the Rome Plug. If you haven't seen our first intro video to get to know us better, please check out our first intro video.
Today we're going to talk about what to expect before coming to Rome, because a lot of people don't really know what's going to happen, how is it going to be similar, how's it going to be different to their home country. So we're going to talk to you personally about our experience moving from the United States to Rome, Italy.
So to start off with, the food is very different, especially if you're from America. The Italian food is very different, and especially the restaurant experience. There's a lot of things that don't exist here that do in America, such as like Alfredo, fettuccine Alfredo, like that.
Chicken parm.
Yeah, chicken parm, like none of that. That's like Italian American food, and that doesn't exist here. So you really want to try to stay open when you're going into a restaurant and get like some local good foods, as each city is known for their own thing. Rome has many, like carbonara, cacio e pepe. They have yeah, I mean, there's so many amazing things that you want to make sure to like get those, especially if you're in Rome. The restaurant experience in itself is quite different, just because they don't have here like the tip system that we do in America, which is nice as like a customer. You don't have to like tip so heavily. Then that goes along with the fact that they're not going to be busting their ass to please you, and you just kind of have to take that with a grain of salt. You have to order your stuff and be kind of aggressive and make sure that they're paying attention to you, especially if you need something. And that's one of the biggest things in Rome, or in Italy in general. You want everything at once. So like your drinks, first course, second course, and then maybe dessert later. One of the big things I've noticed is like getting the bill is really hard. Like you literally, like sometimes you just want to leave and you're just like, you know, you have to really be aggressive and make sure you be like, okay, I want to pay. Something that I do quite often is there's usually a cash register at the front, and that's where the like host / like cashier is, even at like a nice restaurant. Like it depends.
Yeah. And
so I usually just go up and I'll pay and leave, so that I kind of like, you know, move along, because it's a slow process.
Yeah, don't go out to eat if you're in a rush, honestly. Don't go to, like, get street food if you're in a rush, because the dining experience, to them, going out to dinner is kind of like an event in itself. And
they view like you coming in as like you're renting the table for the night. That's how they see it. They're not like in America where they try to like get you in, get you out, and leave. So that's the nice thing too. You just kind of like, you can chill, eat, talk, have fun with your friends, your family, whatever. And that's really nice. Exactly.
Definitely enjoy yourself.
So another thing we're going to talk about is the people. And the people in Rome tend to be very friendly and touchy. And I think we definitely know all about that, and like meeting people. Yeah,
especially as like a foreigner, an American, they're very interested in getting to know you and very welcoming. And with that welcoming, they can be like a little touchy. So you don't have to worry, like you're not being sexually harassed if they put their arm around you, or if they see you for the second time or third time and they're getting to know you. Don't be surprised if they go in for the hug, a kiss on both cheeks. It's totally normal. Whereas like for me in America, I think I just hug my friends mainly. And sometimes not even a hug, it's like a pat on the back. Like, here, like be prepared for like a hug, maybe a kiss.
Yeah, especially if like you're in America and you're coming from a big city, like being from San Francisco and from Philly. Like I think we're used to very like kind of like cold more so than anything. So here, like having people like care about you and kind of like put some effort into like getting to know you is actually really refreshing. And I know that I like it. And especially like if you are studying abroad, or if you're going to be living here for a longer period of time, like you can really like feel part of the community quite fast, even if you're in the city, like the main like city part. Like people recognize you, and people are like, oh, how are you? Like for my dog, people always like, how's your dog? That's a really nice thing for me. Nice. One of the downfalls I guess we'll get into in Rome is the trash. So the trash system is a little bit dirty.
A little bit off.
Yeah. And they you'll notice trash everywhere, but that doesn't mean that you can put trash everywhere. I guess the next thing we'll get into is the fashion.
Yeah, the fashion. just the style in general and stuff. It's gonna be a little more, the Italians are a little more dressy than the Americans are. I know for myself personally, like if it's before 7 p.m., you're gonna see me in sweatpants and a t-shirt. Yeah. More of that like athleisure look. Whereas here, that's not really a thing. I think it's becoming a little more trendy just because of like that American music culture and the influence of music and stuff. I see like a lot more guys, even just in the few years I've been here versus when I first arrived to now. I do see a little bit more of that streetwear trend, but still it's a little dressier than it is in America, definitely.
And we'll just, okay, so like there's different like fashion styles obviously, but like here, I think a lot of people just dress like classier or like more formal, but obviously there's different types of styles. Like you have, you know, like urban street style, you know, your like, you know, California boho, like there's like every style here, but people just put more effort and people care. One of the big things as a woman that's like important here is like covering up, which seems weird. Like everyone wears a scarf. Like even when it's like it seems like warm to me, like people still wear scarves and it's just to like cover yourself up. Tights are a big thing. I know like in San Francisco, like a lot of us don't wear tights. Like, I mean you can, but like if you're wearing a dress, like it's not like necessary. Here, like everyone wears tights, even if it's like a nude colored pair of tights. And if you have like if it's like, what is it called? When it's like strapped or whatever, people will literally tell you. Like I've had multiple like old women be like, oh, like signorina, like do you know that you have like a rip, like you have a run in your tights, and you're just like, you're like, okay, thank you, like, you know, like I know. And sometimes it's a fashion statement too if you have like ripped up tights. Yeah. And it's just kind of annoying. So you just have to get used to people like commenting on little things.
Another point though on the dress, like just for the tourists and stuff especially, make sure that if you're going somewhere like the Vatican or any church in general, that you're covering up for sure. Because if your shoulders, I think your knee, you can't. I think it's not supposed
your knee
to be
and below or something.
Yeah, but I think it should be like around your knee length. Guys, do not wear shorts. Don't wear hats into anything like the Vatican, the churches that are open to the public. They're gonna want you to dress a little more respectful. I mean, you don't have to come in a suit and tie, but just cover up a little bit.
Yeah, another big thing is people just like care a lot about their hair and the way they smell. That's what I've noticed. Like everyone, like specifically like men, really cologne it up. Yeah, like here, like you'll literally, especially like when you walk past like the policemen, you're just like, oh, like it hits you. Like they use a lot of cologne here. Definitely, a lot of them wear the same cologne. I guess another thing we talk about is the language here. I think we both have different experiences with language.
Because you're more or less fluent in Italian. I'm intermediate maybe at this point, just after a few years, but it's definitely a little more difficult to learn for some people. But the point about the language is, first of all, I think a good tip of advice is know a few words. Right. You know, no ciao, no grazie, say thank you, you know, stuff like that, because it goes a long way. A little goes a long way with the Italians. Definitely. And don't expect everyone to speak English. If you live in the center, like 99% of the time.
If you live in like Trastevere, Campo dei Fiori, like any of the main like spots, you're gonna be fine. And like people are gonna speak in English to you right away, which is kind of hard if you're like learning and you're trying to like speak.
But on another note, if you're venturing a little bit outside of the city, you know, you're gonna have to speak a little Italian because they're not gonna know English as well, not in the center.
They speak Italian and their vocabulary is limited in English. So you wanna try and you wanna be respectful. And I think like that goes for any country you go to. You wanna know some words, and we'll have another video on that. Definitely like the main things to know, like how to ask where the bathroom is, you know, just little things. Hi, what my name is, you know, things like that. Another thing is like, know when you're coming to Rome, you are coming to one of the oldest cities, especially in Italy. And so it's rustic and it's very authentic. And with that being said, sometimes things don't work in the way you'd like.
Everything here is very old.
Yeah.
But that's part of it. For me, it's part of the appeal. I don't know about you. It's what I like about Rome. I feel like I'm
definitely
in this big city, but you still feel like so at home.
Yeah.
Very like a homey feel.
Yeah, and you can like walk around and you just look at everything. You're like, wow, I can't believe I'm walking the streets that Caesar walked on. You know, like it's just different things like that. Like it's really overwhelmingly beautiful at times. And another thing is the cobblestones.
Yeah,
like
the
cobblestones are pretty messed up and there's a lot of holes in them. And so with that, like you really want to be careful with what you wear, especially like if you want to wear heels or booties. Like I wear them all the time, but you want to be careful and know where you're going and know that you're not going to be walking too much, because you walk in Rome, you walk everywhere. And so you're gonna notice your feet really hurt, and especially if you end up like living here for a while, you're gonna build some calluses for sure. But you really want to try to stick to like, I know that fashion's like a big thing, but you want to like buy cute shoes that like you know will be comfy, like even just like Vans, Converse.
Classics, you'll see a lot of classic Vans, classic Converses, the Air Force Ones, the Adidas, Stan Smiths.
Yeah, and they'll wear that with a dress too. So like I do that all the time. I'll wear like a cute skirt, dress, whatever, and I'll put on a pair of Converse with. Yeah.
If you're a sneakerhead and like love sneakers, don't bring the sneakers that are like your prized possession, because they're gonna get dogged on these streets. They really are. And every time I go home and like I pack my stuff back up, it's like this pair of shoes can go in the trash, that pair can go in the trash.
Yeah, you end up like your shoes get beaten up.
They get destroyed.
You will trip and it will happen and it's okay. Like the amount of times I've fallen is insane. Like every day, and I'm like sober too. I'm just like, oh, like you trip and you just have to like take it and you get used to it. You don't even care at a certain point. But
yeah, that being said though, we can kind of go into the next thing, the dogs here. I know we talked a little bit about Stormy, and we are going to do a video about getting your own dog, but this is more about the dogs that are already here.
Yeah.
One, they kind of just let their dogs do whatever they want. Half of them aren't going to be on leashes. And if they do go to the bathroom on the street, it's highly unlikely that the owner's going to pick up after the dog.
Yep.
So while you're watching for potholes and stuff in the streets, watch out for dog shit.
Yeah, definitely. I know like as a dog owner, I always pick up her poop just because I feel like it's bad karma. Like I think that nobody else should have to step on her poop at all, as well as like I don't want to step on some other dog's shit. Like, but it's just, they're everywhere. Also, dog owners themselves are kind of weird here. Like in America, I know like we're very used to being like, oh my God, a cute dog. And you go up and you like be like, oh my God, can I play with your dog? And people are like, yeah, no problem. Here, people are very like, they look at you weird. They're like, why are you touching my little dog? Like, why are you touching my baby? Like, so that's one thing.
If you're gonna touch, just
sometimes you just kind of have to like look and admire from afar, which sometimes you just have to get used to. But yeah, so I guess maybe we can get it going to the street vendors now.
Okay, yeah.
So here they're called, the street vendors all around are called vukumbra, which means like voi comprare is like in actual Italian, but it's in the dialect vukumbra, and that means do you want to buy? And so they're everywhere. There's different types of street vendors, and from art to bracelets to, you know, selfie sticks, like there's everything.
Water bottles.
I mean, yeah, and
anything.
And it gets really kind of annoying, especially when you're living here. Like every day, you're just like, oh my God,
the rose sellers.
You're just like, please leave me alone. But try to stay respectful and just, you know,
grazie if you're not
no grazie, and just walk on and just be like, okay, thank you, move on, you know, instead of, because a lot of people tend to get really rude. Like I know I would get so frustrated when I first got here, now just be like, I'm like, no, I'm like, do I look interested? Like, you don't want to do that. I mean, this is their job. And
but then on a side note, like, don't be rude, just like you said, don't be rude, but don't be too friendly.
Oh no.
Because then they're gonna think you're gonna buy, and then you're gonna be wasting their time.
Exactly.
I know, for example, a lot of people from Africa do come to Rome, and they're known for selling little African jewelry. Some of it's cute, honestly.
Yeah.
But the thing with them is they'll put it in your hand, usually like a bracelet or a little
turtle,
like
or
a
something.
turtle, elephant. I think I have the whole collection at home. But if you're not interested in buying it, give it back immediately or don't take it at all.
Yeah.
Because they'll put it in your hand and act as if it's free.
They'll be like,
and then they're gonna say, I have a baby or I have a family or something. And they're gonna want money for it.
Exactly.
So if you want it, carry a few euro coins, give them a euro, 50 cents, something. Yeah. But don't take it if you're not gonna pay for it, because it's not really free.
Exactly. Like especially with the bracelets, they're like, oh, for free, and they'll give you a few like cute little bracelets, which I've had a bajillion of. I love them.
Same.
And actually I do love them, but they will like sometimes try to wrap it on you and be like, oh, and they're like, oh, it's my gift, and then you'll like be like, oh, nice, thank you, and then you walk away, and then they come up and they're like, that was €5, even though it's definitely not for €5. So if you want it, like, give them €1 or whatever, you know, however much you want, but definitely be assertive, and if you don't want it, don't take it, and just like let them be, and that's it.
And some people, not all, some of the vendors, they can be a little sketchy as far as like taking things. So be careful if you're getting into a conversation, like be mindful of where your phone's at. Yeah. Stuff like that.
Unfortunately, like there's a lot of theft, which is our next topic here in Rome, which we'll have our whole other video on robbery and our personal experiences, which we both have had a
unfortunately
fruitful amount of negative experience with theft and stuff like that.
That is a downfall here, but always be careful of your belongings, especially in the major tourist, like near the major tourist attractions.
Exactly. And like being from a big city, like I think we know, like you don't usually put your phone on the bar, you don't put your phone on the table and go to the bathroom, like, but I have a lot of friends that aren't from big cities and don't know that, and you really, especially with your belongings, if you have your bag, don't put it on the back of your seat. Keep it close to your feet. I'll put it like right next to me, or like on my lap or something. You really want to be careful, and especially with your phones, like really just keep an eye on everything you have at all times. I always, when I'm walking around, I have like a count. I'm like, I feel my bag. I'm like, keys, wallet, phone. Keys, wallet. Like I literally am always doing that to myself. Like phone, wallet, you know, making sure I have things with me at all time.
Yeah, and don't be too flashy with your stuff. Don't pull out your wallet and count your money in a big public place. You're gonna put a bullseye on your back. You're gonna be a target. I mean, the thing is here though, it's another reality of being here. Credit cards are not as widely accepted.
Oh yeah, definitely.
For example, I know I could go to a convenience store and get a pack of gum, and you can pay with your credit card in America.
Yeah, exactly.
Here, there's either going to be a limit, it's either not going to be accepted at all.
Definitely a lot of the mini marts, like if you want to buy a pack of gum, you need cash. Like a lot of the mini marts that you'll see everywhere, like the little mini market for like water, you know, whatever, they do not accept card at all. So you want to make sure, I usually have like 20 to 50 on me at all times. Just because it's, you know, that kind of like cushion money to like for a little, like for a coffee and stuff like that.
Yeah, always keep a little bit of cash on you. Restaurants and stuff like that, or anything in like the real center of the city, you're pretty much safe with a credit card.
And a lot of places have like come accustomed to Americans, we use our card for everything. So that's the one thing you want to, like, we just want to be mindful of that at all times.
Yeah, for sure.
Another thing is maybe like the lateness here in Italy, like in general.
I joke around and say like they're on Italian time here. I'm guilty of it now.
Yeah,
I'm on Italian time half the time.
You get used to it. It's
the Italians are typically late. Most likely
it's like 30 to an hour late for most. Like, and you
can be extreme. So yeah, if you make plans to meet up with someone at 8 o'clock, don't be shocked if they don't arrive till 8:30, but they're probably not gonna arrive at the time that you planned.
Exactly. Or I just always have my friends like constantly update me, be like, oh, I'm on the bus, so I'll be there in like 15 to 20, or just like anything so that you like mentally like, okay, cool, you know, I know where you are. But I think that's it for today, and thank you so much for watching our video. If you have any questions or if you think we've missed anything, please comment or get in contact with our Instagrams or anything, everything will be linked below. But we'll try to stay in contact with you guys.
Yeah, and since we're a new channel, we are very open to ideas. So anything, if there's something that you want to see a video about, feel free to drop it in the comments, DM us on Instagram. Yeah. Anything like that, reach out. We'd love to talk to you. So thank you so much for stopping by and watching our channel. If you don't subscribe to us already, please subscribe below. Like the video as well. Share this video. And thanks for watching. Bye guys, ciao. Okay, so we're on our way out the door. We're going to walk around and then have dinner. One thing we did forget to mention while we were sitting down and talking to you guys is that dinner here starts a little later. I would say typically what, like 8 to 10 p.m.? Yeah, and you stay there for like up until midnight, even like till 1, depending on the restaurant. So don't show up at the restaurant at 6 p.m. like you would at home in the States because sometimes they're not even open. Sometimes they're closed from 3 to 7. Yeah. Most restaurants open like at 7. Yeah, so 7 at the earliest, but then even then they're gonna look at you and think you're a little weird. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, we just wanted to say that to you guys. We'll try to get some footage of us out and about and at dinner, so come along with us.